Okay, so now talking about the good things wouldn't be anything without talking about the bad. There are 3 things that I do not like about the Range Rover, and the very first one is it is overly complex. The thing is built with so many sensors and different electronic computers and devices that all have to cooperate together. I mean, at least mine, I'm always getting electrical errors. That being lights that say, hey, you should check this, hey, you should check that, hey, this thing's not working, and I'm like, it's totally working. Like I have the first one when I had my LR3, it had a transmission fault. Granted, all of the Rovers I buy are wrecks or junk in the first place anyway, so I always have to fix something, right? But it's complaining about a transmission fault, but if you shut it off and turn it back on, then you can drive away. The transmission's fine. Been driving it for, I don't know, half a year now. Transmission is totally fine, but it has so many sensors that I think something's amiss. So the first thing is, well, it's overbuilt, it's overly complex, and it is prone to electronic gremlins. Well, let's put it that way. The mechanics of it seem to be built very strongly, but the electricals, not as much. Number 2, this sort of sounds funny, but while I mentioned this on my favorite video, what my favorite things are, one of the biggest drawbacks of the Range Rover is its air suspension. So its air suspension, I love it, but it is prone to failure. And the reason it's prone to failure is for the same reasons I just listed the first one, is that it has a lot, if you think about just the air suspension, has so many sensors that run it. From your ride height sensors, your compressors, all these other components are involved. And if any of them fail or is feeling sick that day, your air suspension is, you know, it's out of luck. You're not going to do anything with it. The good thing is that, you know, you usually can get by to lock it into a ride height and you'll be fine. But one of the funnest things about it is that adjustability of the Range Rover, and if you have any electrical issues, that rapidly goes away. So the air suspension can be finicky and faulty from an electric gremlin point of view again. So while I love it, it's also the biggest drawback. If you remove the air suspension from the Range Rover, you honestly eliminate a lot of its issues automatically. And what do I have there for the last one?
Expensive to fix.
Oh yeah, it is expensive. So Range Rovers, they really depreciate rapidly. So if you're thinking, hey, you know, Range Rovers look nice, I think they have a nice prestige factor too. But in honesty, if you get an old Range Rover, it's not an expensive vehicle to buy. Buying a new Range Rover, don't get me wrong, that's expensive. That, for me at least, that's a lot of money. So that's why I have to get my old ones, right? But buying the Range Rover isn't the hard part. That's not the expensive part to me. So I can buy an old, 2003 Range Rover relatively inexpensively. The issue is, of any car I've ever owned, it is the most expensive to repair / maintain, I guess you could say. And I'm just gonna say, let's just stick with repair. It's the most expensive thing to repair, because usually for almost everything, I mean, I'm getting junkyard parts, I'm buying stuff off eBay, or maybe I buy some new ones here and there. But I'm trying to fix my cars cheap, inexpensively. I want them good, but I can't stomach all that cash going out. Range Rover, it's like they are just charging you for buying Range Rover parts. That's it. I could understand if they were really unique components, but that's not usually the case. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's going to be money. So alternator. Just a quick note. If I wanted to get a Range Rover alternator brand new, you can think, if you had to fix your car today, how much would an alternator cost? It's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive. Range Rover alternator is like $800 bucks. And it's why? Okay. And whatever. A different example. And you can find, don't get me wrong, you can find rebuilt ones for like $100, and so that's what I have to do. I find rebuilt off-brand stuff, and I'll rebuild it. But the fact that that $800 is even being asked for the alternator in the first place, oh well. Different example, if you don't like the alternator one, gas cap got lost. How much do you think it's? The Range Rover just has a plastic gas cap, just like everybody else, well, not everybody else, maybe you guys got some titanium gas caps out there or something, but most cars just have plastic gas caps. That's not an expensive component. When I went to buy a Range Rover one, you know, just looking it up online, how much am I going to spend? Gas cap costs 80 bucks. 80 bucks for a gas cap. It is just a plastic plug. I didn't spend 80 bucks. Here's a tip. In this particular year, you know, BMW built most of the stuff in the Range Rover. So I just went and I double checked and verified with the BMW I had, my Z4, take it over, exact same gas cap. BMW gas cap, maybe it's still expensive, but it's cheaper, 30 bucks. And then you could say, oh, well, that's not bad, or maybe you're even thinking that's too expensive. It probably is, because they're charging, because it's a BMW, right? But BMW also owns Mini Cooper. Mini Cooper is a less expensive car, so guess what? If you buy a Mini Cooper gas cap, it is only, I don't want to run over this jogger here. Mini Cooper gas cap's like 15 bucks. And you know what? All three gas caps are exactly the same. And so 15 bucks instead of 80. But that is an idea. Of all the cars I've ever owned, Range Rover, Land Rover in general parts are the most expensive. I haven't had any Ferraris or Italian cars or anything like that. Mostly BMWs and, you know, Japanese and German cars mostly for me. But this English car, man, they just charge you a premium because they can, I suppose, but it's expensive. Do I still love the Range Rover? Yes, I still love it. But those are the three things that I think of not liking that I don't like about it. But overall, still a great car. If there's something else that really bugs you about your Range Rover, you know, post in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. They're an interesting vehicle. And thanks for watching.